'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Or was there? Hello and welcome to the Bottled Imp.
Exploring the realms of fantasy.
My name is Ken Boyter, and today we're going to be taking a look at Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Ooh. Is it spooky? Is it Christmas? Who knows? Well, I do actually. So let's find out. The Nightmare Before Christmas is actually directed by Henry Selick. Although it's got Tim Burton's name in the title, it's actually directed by Henry Selick. It was released in 1993, but it was the brainchild of Tim Burton. He apparently wrote it as a poem when he was younger, he thought of the idea when he was working for Disney as an animator. And the project kind of took quite a few years to actually develop into the feature film that we know. There was talk of it that Disney were probably going to do it as a little mini TV series or a half-an-hour special, but apparently Disney thought it would be too scary for kids. What? Kids love scary things, surely. But before we go any further, what is the premise? What's the setting for this film? It's pretty simple, actually. It's quite a delightful idea. You have Jack Skellington, who is the king of Pumpkin Town, and that means Halloween. Everything Halloween. He is responsible for Halloween in the world. So obviously once a year Halloween happens. He is the mastermind behind it. And one year he actually stumbles upon another celebration, and that happens to be Christmas. Oh yes, Christmas. He had never experienced Christmas before, and he stumbles into the world of Christmas. He meets Santa, meets all the elves, and he's amazed by it. He doesn't know what it is. What is snow? This is a unique thing for him. And then he has an idea. How about he takes over Christmas? He could deliver the presents instead of Santa. So that's the premise. And the themes in the film, well, there's three main themes. Obviously, you've got the meaning of Christmas. What is Christmas all about? Why do we celebrate Christmas? What is it meant to be? But it doesn't focus on the religious aspect. It focuses, obviously, on the present giving and being thankful for what you've got. It does, it has that warm kind of feeling about Christmas, the kind of traditional Christmas that we in the West know and love. It also focuses on what the nature of a person is. So the action, or skeleton, I should say, because Jack Skellington obviously is a skeleton. And it's his actions that determine what type of person you are. And that can be whether your actions are intentional or unintentional. What effect do you have when you do something? And how does that affect another person, and how does that person actually react, and how do they then in turn affect somebody else because of their actions? So you have a few other little plot strands going on, such as there's the love plot strand, and that looks at unrequited love. Is that the word? Unrequited? Unrequited is unrequited. Obviously, where somebody loves somebody and that person doesn't love them back. So you have that little love story going on, and it looks at, is it a hopeless situation if you keep getting rejected, or not necessarily rejected, but if they don't even notice you, how do you make yourself noticeable? So it explores that kind of thing, and there is another theme of creation of life. What is life? What is it? And I guess that tags back into what is it that makes us human, and the action. So is it just actions that make up a human, or is it actually how we think about life and what our emotions are, and how you can actually be led by the wrong emotions, but you think you're doing right, but you're actually being misled. Your emotions are kind of tricking you. So it has some quite deep themes running through this film, but it does it in a really fun way. I actually really, really love this film, as you could probably tell. I can't really contain myself much longer to explain that I really love this film. And so the way that these themes are done, they're not force-fed, they're not primarily it's a kids' film, but if you're an adult, you will get so much out of this film. So the messages in there aren't rammed down your throat. They're not obvious. It's not clunky. It's not cheesy either, the way that it deals with these themes. The production values are amazing. They're really, really good. It's all stop animation, so a little bit like Wallace and Gromit in that respect. And there is just something about stop animation that, if it's done well, it just looks and feels beautiful. I guess it has that old vinyl record kind of feel for it, where there was just something homely and warm about it. And it has that feel to this film as well. You know that there's loads of love has gone into this, that it's a project of love, and the creativity behind this is amazing. Obviously Tim Burton is a very creative person, and you can definitely tell it's a Tim Burton film as such, but apparently he didn't have too much input when they were filming. So Henry Selick actually was, the driving force and the imagination, as well. I mean, I think he probably gets maybe not enough credit for this film. It has all the values of a Tim Burton film you want. It's quirky, it's a bit kind of offbeat, it's creative, it's imaginative. The sets look amazing, the characters just are delightful. There's so much going on, and there's the little details in each scene as well. So you might have like a main plot playing out in front of you, but then you might have another character in the background doing something that's equally as funny. And so you can watch this film on a number of times and then find something new within it as well. It's a musical on top, and the songs are brilliant. The composer Danny Elfman did a fantastic job, not only with the film soundtrack, but also with the music within that. And apparently he said it was one of the easiest films that he wrote for, because it was very much in his type of humour and very much what he's into as well. And so the film, the way that the characters sing, it just, each song moves the plot along. It doesn't feel like it's just repeating what you already know about these characters. It reinforces what you know, and really adds so much more entertainment to it as well. There's a brilliant scene with like a jazz sequence. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but that's a really entertaining song. So overall, the production values are amazing. The storylines are beautifully done. They're natural. They don't feel contrived or cheesy or corny. And I just really, really loved it. Kids will love this. It was a critical success. It also was a financial success when this came out. As I say, the characters are lovely. And it's now gone on. I think it must be shown pretty much every year at Christmas on telly. It's got a big following, a big cult following. There's lots of merchandise. It's one of these films. Oh, and then what I really like about it, it doesn't really refer to pop culture. So it becomes one of those timeless classics. So if you watch some of the old Disney ones, again, similar. They didn't really refer to pop culture. They might have done very subtly, but not in a really obvious way that you just think, okay, well, I don't really get that reference, or it just kind of spoils what they're trying to build up. Because after all, this is set in a fantasy world. It oozes fantasy. Obviously, you've got Halloween, which again is all about ghosts and monsters and that kind of thing. And then you've got Santa Claus, you've got Christmas, which again, is a fantasy concept. Or is it? Oh, have I... Well, of course, no, of course, what I mean is Santa's real, of course, yes, Santa's real. Anyway, let's skirt over that. So obviously there's loads of fantasy in this film. If you really want a really warm, caring, kind, loving kind of story that has, quirky bits, has a bit of, spooky twist to it, you will love this film. I couldn't recommend this highly enough. It's probably in my top 10 fantasy films. Anyway, we must do a top 10 film. Totally check out The Nightmare Before Christmas. We hope you enjoyed the review there, little review of The Nightmare Before Christmas. I can't recommend this enough. You don't have to even watch it at Christmas. You can watch it all year round and still get that same amount of fun. But obviously, if it is Christmas, and it is Christmas now, isn't it? It's coming up to Christmas very, very soon. Then this would be the perfect film to watch with all your family. Remember, we do other reviews as well. We do film reviews, book reviews, and board game reviews, all fantasy-based. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. We also have other social media things, such as Facebook and Twitter. All that remains for me to say is, Happy Christmas. Nearly. It's nearly Christmas.